Goodbye, translation for eternity, forever. Your biggest foe, your biggest enemy in the path of your spoken English. Do you want to get rid of this enemy, this foe of translation? Because translating in your head is the biggest bad habit to have. Successful learners always come up with unexpected responses to any question. And to stop translation is the greatest initiative to think in English. But the problem here is that how to get rid of this translation in English. How can you stop translating in English? How it feels like it? Because when you translate in English, you take a lot of pauses. You stop at every now and then point, and it kills your communication skills. The other person gets bored with your communication task, and whatever you are producing varied sentence structures, sentence patterns. You are not ready for the unexpected questions because the daily or the conversation, informal or the formal conversation, is always deliberate, is always unexpected, spontaneous. The questions are not ready made. Then how can you deal this thing if you are always thinking in English to translate, to search for appropriate word and then to translate word for word? This is the problem here. This is the biggest issue in the lives of non-native speakers because we always deal English as a non-native speaker from the perspective of a non-native English learner. So how can you deal with this? How can you cope with it? So you have first point, the very important point is that you have to deal it like your new friend. Now let me know in the comment section, how do you deal your new friend? When you As far as I am concerned, when I deal with my new friend, I want to know his habits, how I want to know how he behaves, what are his interests, what are his hobbies, what is his culture, what are the things in which he is interested, all the things about him. I want to know about his life, about his liking, about his disliking, about his interest, about the things which he hates, about the things which he dislikes. Each and everything I want to know about my new friend. So, first thing, the very first point, if you want to be familiarized with English language and you want to get rid of this translation for eternity, forever, you have to deal this language as a new friend. Accept it, embrace it as a new friend. Now, when you deal it as your new friend, how would you deal it? You want to know about its culture, you want to know about all about this language. What are the structures, what are the sentence patterns, what are the vocabulary expressions, each and everything, and what is the culture, traditions are linked with this language. You want to know about this. The very first point you have to keep in your mind is that you have to deal this language as a new friend, accept it as a new friend. Now the second thing is that always prepared for unexpected, because when you are speaking in English language, you are just wearing a security blanket around you, and you are fearful, if I lose this security blanket, I would have a loss, I would be injured. So get out of this fear of security blanket. Now you have to move from security to insecurity, because where the maximum danger starts, there is the minimum fear. And on the other side of fear, believe me, on the other side of fear, there is always a blissful experience. There is always a blissful experience waiting for you. If you are ready to face your fear of getting lost. The other side would be you will be confident, you will be fluid in your conversation. The third thing is that thinking in English is doable because we are always surrounded with our thoughts, whether we are walking on the roads, whether we are cooking, whatever we are doing, the thoughts are popping up in our minds from nowhere, and we have no control over our thoughts. So what can we do about the thoughts which are popping up in our mind, and how can we convert this switch to non-native English perspective to the native English perspective, so we can deal this with knowledge and practice? Because believe me, dear friends, preparation breeds spontaneity. When you are practicing a lot, you are searching and you are on the road for preparation, you are on the road for spoken English. And what is knowledge and what is practice? Knowledge means you have to dive in the language, you have to learn the vocabulary essential to communicate, you have to learn the basic grammar. Don't go deep into the grammar, but search for the basic grammar, search for the vocabulary essential for you. Now, very important point is here is that you have to feed your eyes with English, you have to feed your ear with English, you have to feed your brain with English, you have to feed yourself with English. How can you feed your eyes? Because when you are learning something and when you are visualizing something and when you are intermingling, when you are interconnecting these two things, the results would be tremendous, the results would be fruitful. For example, if you have learned the word blissful and you see a picture and you see a video where a person is endowed, where a person is blessed with something, when a person is blessed with something, you familiarize that this blissful word is connected with the person who is endowed, who is given something special. Now the scene is before you, you have fed your eyes with the scene, you have fed your ears with listening, you have fed your brain with vocabulary. Now three things when intermingled together, the result would be fruitful. Next thing is that practice. Without practice, this preparation is in fact a road to creativity, a road to spontaneity, and practice should be of hours. You have to practice a lot, you have to immerse yourself, you have to immerse yourself. This immersion is very much essential, and you have to accept your inner childish self. Now what is inner childish self? You don't have to deal with you as a grown up person, because as a grown up person you always think that I should talk in a sophisticated manner without mistakes, without any kind of error. But don't treat anything new, especially language, as a grown up child. You have to feel, you have to accept it as a childish person. How a child treats a language? He makes mistakes, he accepts, he ignores the mistakes, he keeps on taking the strides, he keeps on walking, and one day he walks in an appropriate manner. You have to deal this language as a child. At first it may be frustrating, it may be depressing for you to avoid translation, but accept that it's natural, it happens with everyone. You have to accept this phenomena, you have to accept this reality. And if you accept this reality, you are on the verge of stopping translation in your head. You have to put your own hard work. So many points are here. Actively and deliberately you have to put an effort, and it's a skill like other skills, like reading, like listening, like writing. If you can develop your reading skills, if you can develop your listening skills, if you can develop your writing skills. Why not thinking in English? It's skill just like other skills. So the other thing is that it sometimes it's frustrating, and how to avoid this frustratedness? You have to enjoy the process. How you can enjoy the process? You can connect it with your hobbies. How can you connect it with your hobbies? Whatever interests you, whatever you are interested in, you have to search it in your English, and you have to watch the content from the native speaker's perspective. In this way you are gathering and you are on the right track to avoid translation. This is the exact process, and you can deal with this. Always be prepared for unexpected situations, and if unexpected situations put you in frustration, accept it's a normal process. Be prepared to face the fear, because believe that on the other side of fear there is always a blissful experience. There is always a reward waiting for you. If it is a fear, if you come across this fear, if you overcome this fear, if you control this fear, if you bridge this fear, the other side is confidence. The other side is a fluid or fluent English speaker. The other side is a bright career. The other side is that you have no fear. On the other side of fear, there is no fear. On the other side of translation, there is no translation. On the other side of insecurity, there is security. On the other side of frustration, there is always happiness. So, always crave for the other side. Always strive for the other side. Always strive for rewards, and you will certainly get that reward. With this positive note, I hope that this problem of translation is solved for you forever. And if this problem is solved for you, and if you get this point, how to stop translation, how to come up with unexpected questions, and how to really think in English, please like, share and subscribe the channel, because it, and hit that bell icon, because it motivates me to make such informative video. So for the next video, stay happy, stay blessed. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.